Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We have talked a lot about Navmansh, your D9 chart, and we have also done many videos giving examples, using examples from some people's lives, celebrities' lives also, industrialists' lives also, and those people who have made a name for themselves. And we have also seen the connection of different houses in the D1 chart and how they connect with the Arudha Lagna or the Arudha Lagna with the D9 chart, and the Karakamsha with respect to career's connection with respect to the 10th house in the Navmansh, and so on. We have made a lot of connections, we have done a lot of videos. So please see those videos to understand the D9 chart, the Navmansh chart better and in line with the D1 chart, the Lagna chart. And to go deeper within the D9 chart, we also did placements of the Lagna Lord in different houses. We also looked at the 10th house placements. Today I want to go into the deepest meaning of the D9 chart, the Navmansh chart. And today I am going to talk about the 7th house. Now, why does the 7th house become one of the most important houses, if not the important house of the Navmansh chart? The reason being is the Navmansh chart is the most important divisional chart after the Lagna chart. So the D9 chart or the Navmansh chart becoming very important is also basis how our life plays out in a different roles, in different areas, in different departments. And this is all connected to relationships, our connections, and that's why the Navmansh chart is given so much importance. Why? Because the D9 chart, the Navmansh chart, is not only about your married life, it is about relationships and connections, the connection that you form, the relationships that you form in life, and through those connections, through those relationships, how you are able to add more value to your own life, to your spouse's life, other people who you're partnering in different areas in your life with them, how you are able to form teams, and how you are able to form meaningful connections, meaningful relations in line with different areas, and through those meaningful connections, through those partnerships, through those relationships, how you are able to do more for others, how you are able to do your karma, and in the end how you are able to elevate yourself spiritually and maybe even get a chance or even at a crack at moksha itself. So that's why the D9 chart is very important, the Navmansh chart is very important, because it is about connections, it is about relationships, it is about partnerships, and how in those partnerships and with those partnerships you are able to do more for others, more for humanity itself. And hence today I am going to talk about the placement of the 7th house lord and its placement in different houses in your D9 chart. What are the deeper meaning of it, what is the deeper manifestation of it, and how it will add more value to your placements in your D1 chart, in your Lagna chart, add more value and more strength to those placements in how it will manifest, how it will turn out, what results it will give you. Because as I've said in many videos before, the D1 chart is more about possibilities, whereas the D9 chart is more about probabilities. So let's jump into what is most probable for us, looking at the placement of the 7th lord in the D9 chart, in the Navmansh chart, in different houses. So let's start with the placement of the 7th house lord in the Navmansh chart in the first house itself. Here, when the 7th house lord gets placed in the Lagna chart, this tells us that while the possibilities have to be seen where the 7th lord is placed in your Lagna chart, this is telling you what are the probabilities in your life. This shows that meaningful relations are very important for how you will be seen by society, for your status itself. If you are not able to form meaningful relationships, if you are not able to form meaningful connections, if you are not able to form those important partnerships, then there is less probability that you will be able to do well in life, be known by people, have a good status in life, have a good stature in life. So it will be important for you that if you are forming relationships, form meaningful relationships. Look deeply into how you are able to add value to the relationship also. And this is not a one-way street, that you look at how these people will be able to profit me, but also how I will be able to profit these people also, because through them you will be able to get the status in life, the stature in life. This is also about your spouse or your partner or those meaningful relationships adding value and being helping you to elevate yourself in society. You may get a dedicated spouse because of this placement, the spouse who also looks up to you, the spouse also believes in you, the partner who believes in you, a team which believes in you, look up to you and also favor you. But at the same time, this also says that please give a lot of importance to those connections. Please give a lot of importance to those relationships, because at the end of the day, you may make or mar your life based on the connections you make, based on the relationships you form, and how useful you are to them also, rather than vice versa. Now let's go to the placement of the 7th house lord in the Navmansh chart, getting placed in the 2nd house. This tells us that if you are able to form meaningful relationships, if you are able to form meaningful connections, strong relations, then these will also be helpful to you to be able to add more value to your livelihood itself. This will also help you to gain more income also. However, this also says that in your effort to form those meaningful relations, to form those meaningful connections, don't forget that these should be value based, these should be principle based. Don't make those connections, even if they are frivolous, just for the sake that these people will be able to help me in increasing my income, or help me to be able to get a better livelihood, or to increase my bank balance. Look at meaningful relationships which are principle based, value based. So if there are people who also believe in the same principles, believe in the same values as you do, then form relationships with them. Be choosy with whom you form relationships, because the probability is given to you. Now it's up to you what kind of probability, how you use that probability to be able to form meaningful relationships and do better. Now because the 7th lord also has got 8 houses from itself, this won't be easy. There will be obstacles in forming those meaningful relationships. There will be obstacles in getting high livelihood, to be able to get good income. However, if you are somebody who follows principles and values and forms meaningful relationships based on values and principles, you don't try to take shortcuts in forming those meaningful relationships, in trying to get good livelihood or higher income, then in the long run you will be able to overcome all obstacles, all challenges, and the zodiac will be more helpful to you. These relationships will also come to your rescue if you go into challenges, if you get into any roadblocks. So forming meaningful relationships, value based relationships, and through those relationships being able to help yourself to higher income, higher livelihood, and to be able to cut down and break the shackles, break the obstacles in life, and then rise higher, both in helping improve your bank balance and helping improve your livelihood also. Now when the 7th house lord goes into the 3rd house in the D9 chart, in the Navmansh chart, this is a good placement, because now the 7th house lord has gone 9 places from itself. However, what it also says is that through your relationships, through your connections, you will be able to get gains. However, you will have to work hard, because it is the 3rd house which is being involved here. So you will have to work hard on your relationships, and you will be able to do that if you are able to work on your communication skills, your ability to be able to influence others, and through meaningful communications, working hard on your communications, ensuring that you don't use curt words, you're not tactful in your communication, but you're more straightforward and you're honest in your communication, and you work on how you come across to people. So when you work on meaningful relationships, people will see you for who you are, and being truthful, being honest in your relationships, in your communication, will also improve your ability to influence others, your ability to market to others how you are, who you are, and through those influential communication ability, you will be able to make a name for yourself, you will be able to make a mark for yourself, you will be able to make better relationships also, and through that you will be able to gain also. The third house is also the house of self-enterprise, which means that in partnership, in meaningful relationships, your communication skills, your ability to influence others may also help you to be able to set up your own business, your own self-enterprise, and in the long run these relationships will also help you. So work on your communication skill, be honest, be upright, and form meaningful relationships with honesty and with integrity, and in the long run a lot of gains will come to you, and these relationships will also go a long way to be able to make gains all around. Now the placement of the 7th house lord in the 4th house. Here on one hand it may give you a very dedicated spouse, a spouse who's also very interested and invested in your domestic life, a spouse who also creates an environment of peace, harmony, happiness in the house, and both the partners work on the domestic happiness, work on creating a good nest, work on being able to increase assets also in your life. The other meaning of this and higher probability is that when you form meaningful connections with others, when you form meaningful relations with others, because now the 7th house lord is gone 10th from itself, which means if you form meaningful relationships connected to work, at work, in your work area, then you will also be able to build assets, increase your assets, and through that get a more comfortable domestic life also be able to give a good lifestyle to your family, to your spouse, and create a more peaceful and more harmonious environment also at home. This also shows that through your ability to form meaningful relations, meaningful connections, you will also be able to help a lot other people, help improve in their own domestic lives also. If you are a manager to people, if you are a team leader to others also, then through those connections helping others form better domestic lifestyle for themselves, being able to help others also create assets for them, and larger contribution to peace and harmony in other people's domestic lives also. So this is a strong connection, a Kendra lord going into another Kendra. So use it well, use it judiciously for a more happy environment at home, for a lot of assets that you make, but ensure that your relationship with your spouse or other partners is also very meaningful, very honest, based on mutual help. And as a partner you will be able to help each other create more happiness in each other's life and create also more material success also. Now when the D9 7th house lord, the Navmansh 7th house lord goes into the 5th house, this is also a strong placement, because now the 7th house lord of the Navmansh chart has gone 11 places from itself. This is also a placement where through your spouse you will be able to also fulfill your wishes and desires. This is a different placement from how or where your D1 chart 7th house lord is placed, because here it is telling you that in your relationship, in your connection, say for example here with your spouse, you will be able to create more intimacy, more romance, long term, or a love marriage, or getting connected to somebody through a love interaction and a long term relationship. This is a promise that of a long stable relationship, a harmonious relationship, a love based relationship. But if you are able to form a strong connection, a love based connection with your spouse, so loving with all your heart, giving with all your heart, contributing to the love in your life, pampering your spouse, taking care of your spouse, working on the romance in your life, then this is a strong placement that your wishes and desire from your spouse come true, in your intimacy, in your romantic connection comes true, and also in the long run both you and your spouse may also work on raising good children, raising good progeny also. This is also a good placement where through your connections you may also be able to make good investments. You meet somebody who themselves are doing some stock trading or getting into any business investments, and through those meaningful investments also you are able to make gains also, even speculative gains. So form meaningful connections and ensure that the people that you connect are honest and truthful themselves, otherwise your long-term investments can also get into a problem. So make meaningful connections based on truth and honesty, work on your romantic relationships, create the romance and intimacy in your life, pamper your loved ones more, raise good children, and form meaningful relations so that you will also be able to get good investments. The probability is given to you by the zodiac, so be true to this relationship, be true to this placement. Now the 7th house lord of the Navmansh chart getting into the 6th house. Now this is a different connection or different meaning from when the 7th house lord gets into the 6th house in the Lagna chart, in the D1 chart. In the D1 chart, there is a possibility that there may be trouble in your relationship, but in the D9 chart, there is a higher probability that in your connection there may be more trouble, which may be coming from outsiders, influencing your partner, influencing you, influencing your thought process, or even facing competition at work, where people are trying to overshadow you, overthrow you in your efforts to have more output from your work, from your career, and from your relationship. The meaning, the deeper meaning also of this is that when you form good connections, strong connections, deeper connections, then even at work you will be able to overcome competition more easily, because there will be others who also come to your help, who also come to your support, and the machination of a few who may be trying to put you down, overshadow you, will be dusted. And in the long run, meaningful relationships which are based on mutual trust rather than competition will help you to be able to gain more. But if you don't form meaningful relationship, then there can be losses. These losses can be in your relationship, in your married life, but also connected to work, which may in the long run bring more problems in your life, may even lead to separation or even getting connected to court or court cases which are maybe coming in. This is not only about your married life, but when you're also working with others or in team relations, or even connected to business. So a slightly tricky placement, but high probability of trouble where connected to relationships. So be very careful how you manage your relationship, how you treat the people, whether spouse, whether partner, or whether team members, because you may unnecessarily be creating problems for you otherwise. Now the placement of the 7th house lord in the 7th house itself, this is a very strong placement. It's a very, very karmic placement. This is even better than the 7th house lord placed in the 7th house in the D1 chart. Here the zodiac is telling you that we are giving you the best possible permutation and combination for having meaningful, strong relationship, a very committed partner, a very loyal partner, a very dedicated partner, and even you will be able to take a lot of interest. And relationships are also important for you, and they better be, because through those relationships you will be able to rise much higher in life. You will be able to do much better in life. So the simple meaning is, the better relationships you form, the better connections you form in almost all areas of life, you will be able to do much better. And charity begins at home. So first, in your romantic relationship or in your married life, ensure that you give a lot of importance to your spouse. You are a dedicated partner, you're a loyal partner, you're a committed partner. Then you will see that you will also be able to form meaningful relationships with others. The better relationship at home, the better relationship outside also you will be able to create. You will find that when you work hard on your relations, you work hard on your connections with people who are generally those who you get connected on a day-to-day basis, then you will find that your life also becomes easier, your life also becomes more rewarding, more engaging, more exciting, and you will find that troubles keep away from you. If you are not committed, if you are not loyal, then a lot of other areas in your life can also come faulty. So be careful if your 7th house lord is in the 7th house in your Navmansh chart, because this is a promise of good karma, a lot of good results for you. Don't blow it. Now the placement of the 7th house lord in your Navmansh chart, in your D9 chart, getting into the 8th house. This is different from your 7th house lord getting into the 8th house in your D1 chart, where in your D1 chart this is more about obstacles, challenges, issues that you may face both in your married life and in your connection outside. However, in your D9 chart, this is giving you higher probability what will happen after you make those relationships. This is on one hand telling you that some of your deepest relations, some of your deepest connections, they may themselves go through tribulations, obstacles in your life. Life for some of your closest connections may not be easy, which means they need your best support, they need your most moral support, They need you to stand by them so that they are able to traverse the journey of obstacles or obstructions in their life more easily. So with your spouse, with your partner, with your siblings, whichever connections you make in your life, ensure, especially the closest connections, go to their help, go to their rescue, stand by them. Because if you are able to stand by them, if you are able to help others overcome their obstacles, their challenges, help them in their sudden issues, sudden problems which come to them, and they come to your help, they come to you asking for help, stand by them, help them. Because then the zodiac will help you in your challenges. Zodiac will help you, bring some savior angel to you when you go through certain challenges, you go through some issue. You will not know where the help is coming from, but you will find that through the most sticky situations that you may face in your life, somewhere the help comes to you and you get extricated out of those challenges. In the time being, you will face challenges, you may feel frustrated, you may feel anxiety, but in the long run this will be good for you. This is also placement of big gains if you are able to help others, if you are able to stand by your connections, your relationships in their tough times, and maintaining integrity, honesty, loyalty in your tough times as well. Then in the long run, the zodiac helps you. You get good inheritance, in shared property you get gains, you also get support from your in-laws, and you get help from most mysterious avenues without even realizing. It is almost as if the zodiac is to your rescue. If you keep calm, you keep high motivation and high help to others, then the zodiac will be your savior when your 7th house lord is getting placed in the 8th house in your D9 chart, in your Navmansh chart. Now when the 7th house lord in your Navmansh chart is in the 9th house, this is a strong placement, that the stronger belief that you have in yourself and in the zodiac, you will be able to do better in life. This is also placement where the stronger connections that you make, the more meaningful connections you make, you may also make a lot of gains. However, because the 7th house lord has gone 3 places from itself, this means that you will have to work hard on forming meaningful connections. There may be a lot of people who may come by to you, and the chance that you may have to make a lot of connections will be easier, will be higher. However, pick and choose with whom you make those connections, work hard on those connections, put in effort, work on your communication skills, and have a strong belief in those connections, have a strong belief in the power of the zodiac to be able to help you. And use the experiences that you get, use the experiences and the higher learning of challenges in your life, especially connected to relationship, especially connected to teamwork, especially connected to your marital life. And the more you're ready to learn, the more you're ready to humble yourself in relationships and be selective in your relationship, and don't hesitate to help others make their gains, zodiac will also help you to make large gain in the long run. This is also strong placement that the highest learning that will come to you is through your relationship. Not that the relationships will be a challenge, but through those relationships you will also be able to learn the higher meaning of life, the higher meaning of what life means for you, the higher meaning of purpose of your life. And through a strong belief in yourself, in your relationship, in your zodiac, you will be able to make more meaningful relationships in the long run. But this is also a placement where you need to move far away from what you were born with and be ready to traverse distance in changing your mindset in your belief system and having a very new and fresh perspective towards relationship, a very positive perspective. And there is all for you to gain from the zodiac itself when the 7th house lord in the D9 in the Navmansh chart is placed in the 9th house. When the 7th house lord in your D9 chart, in your Navmansh chart, is placed in the 10th house, this shows that you should be able to make very meaningful connections at work and work hard on your relationships with those people who call the shots at work, whether it is your managers or your supervisors, because through that you will also be able to make more assets for yourself. These assets are not only about the tangible assets of home or cars or other things that you get, tangible things that money can buy. This is about making assets at work, deeper connections at work. deeper interdepartment connections also, deeper relationships also, more mutually profiting relationship also, where you can depend on each other. So yeah, if you're ready to work hard on your relationship with authority figures, lend a lot of respect to them, stand by them, be committed to them, be loyal to them, then in the long run they will also become your assets. They will also become strong partners to you in your growth, in you getting more recognition, you getting more acknowledgement. And there is higher probability that through those connections you are not only able to raise higher, you also are able to get good growth, but these can also give you stability in the long run. Many a time this is also placement where you work with a certain supervisor, you work with a certain manager for long term within the organization and sometimes afterwards also. This may also connect your spouse to work, finding spouse at work, or spouse also helping you in your work, or spouse also being very understanding, more flexible and giving you more space because you need to work, because you need to dedicate your time more connected to work. So with this placement, work hard on your connections connected to work, connected to career, who are able to influence your own growth. Then you will find that in the long run, more stable relationship will help you to grow higher in your career, do better in your career, and reach the highest excellence of your work life. Now when the 7th house lord in your D9 chart, in your Navmansh chart, gets placed in the 11th house, this is a strong placement of a lot of gains from society, from your network connections, from how you are able to use your relations to make those network connections, which means that if you form meaningful connections, if you form strong connections, meaningful connections where you want to do more for others, then you will find that society will also be able to do more for you. Your connections will also be able to do more for you, contribute more for your growth also. That the world is conspiring to help you in your growth, in your elevation, in you being able to fulfill your dreams and your desires, in you being able to get gains through what you make of your connections. But this also means that the more you do for others, the more you do for society, then society also gives you back. The zodiac ensures that your connections will be able to help you more, elevate you more, that you will be able to do much better, raise to very high positions in working in large organizations, working for large causes, doing more for society at large, where your children will also grow to heights, may also get their wishes and desires fulfilled, to work for big brands, working for large organizations themselves. And in your connections, maybe even as a couple, you will be able to do much more for society, you will be able to contribute to society, and in return, society will also help you in your relations, society may also help you in your domestic life, society will also help you elevate the highest to the biggest gains that the 11th lord can throw at. Now the placement of the 7th house lord in the 12th house. This is a placement different from the D1 placement of the 7th house lord in the 12th house. The D1 placement is more about what kind of relationships you may form, what possibilities are. The D9 chart is more about the higher probabilities that may come by. So this is a probability that if you are true to your relationships, if you are able to make strong connections, then you don't need to worry about losses. Those relationships, those connections will help you avoid challenges, avoid losses, avoid wastage in your life. However, this is also a cue to you that you should be able to live more frugally, being able to do more for others. If you are somebody who spends a lot of money, you are ready to blow your money, then this can be a trouble in the long run. This is a trouble in the making, because this is a strong placement that if you create excess in your life, excess of needs, excess of expenditure, then there may also be excess of wastage, excess of expenses in your life. You will not be able to keep a tab on high spending and wastages in your life. And in fact, some of your relationship may also wither away. Some of your relations may also not be able to help you. You may not make any gains from them. In fact, some of your relationship may also become a burden for you. And many a times, while being in a relationship, also you may feel alone. You may feel a distance from your spouse. So this is a very karmic placement where you need to do more for others, form meaningful relations, be very committed and loyal, and expect less from those relationships. Trying to extract more from your relationship will only give you more anxiety, more frustration, and you will feel at a loss. So doing more for others, doing more for the general society, and being ready to leave more for others, both within your life and even after, and through that legacy being able to help your spiritual elevation and getting a crack at moksha itself, is this high probability that this placement gives you. So work on your relationships, be loyal, be committed, be more frugal in how you spend, be more disciplined in your expenditure, be more disciplined in your effort, be more structured in your work also. And if you're able to do that, then relationship will also be good for you. Relationships will also be more meaningful for you, less wasteful for you. And when you're ready to do more in your relations, when you're ready to do more for others, when you're ready to do more in your life and after, through your contributions to the world at large, then this is one of the strongest crack at moksha itself, at salvation itself, that the zodiac will be ready to give you. So friends, now that we have looked at how different placements of your 7th house lord in your Navmansh, in your D9, can bring different probabilities for you, different permutations and combinations for you, different results for you, where you can most profit from, and what warning these placements are giving you. So be more diligent, be more careful, and be more selective how you are able to form these relations, with whom you are forming these connections, because the D9 is all about connections and higher probabilities of what kind of results you are able to extract, accrue from these. So work hard on forming meaningful relations, loyal connections, committed relations, where you are contributing more to those areas where the 7th lord is placed, and you will find that in the long run the zodiac will also be able to give you much more than what these placements are ready to give you. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan signing off.